All right. Welcome back to the Fantasy Football School. Today's class have three wide receivers, deep wide receivers, getting with an ADP outside the top 50 that can potentially crack the top 24, most likely top 36. Like last season, we had, Jacoby Myers, Adam Thielen of the world cracking the top 24 out of nowhere. So I got three guys that definitely fits that mold. Two, I'm less likely to believe, but I do have one that I believe will be in the top 24 for sure. But hey, that's assuming everything goes right. Anyways, first one, we got Khalil Shakir, Buffalo Bills. Essentially the wide receiver one right now in terms of veteran, being the veteran on the team. Every wide receiver they added are either a free agent this year or through the draft. They do have like Justin Shorter drafted last year, who essentially missed the whole season, but Shakir going to his third year definitely has Josh Allen's trust. Had an amazing late season surge last year with the departure of what's his name, Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs. That's almost 200 targets available right there. They did add Curtis Samuel and Keon Coleman. They do still have Dalton Kincaid, who I think will be the other 1A, 1B. Although Curtis Samuel is getting a lot of buzz, but the thing is, I expect him to be the starting wide receiver. Like, if everything went right, and Keon Coleman's that dude. Keon Coleman and what's his name, Curtis Samuel on the outside, Shakir in the slot, and then Dalton Kincaid starting tight end. But Curtis Samuel has had injury history. Keon Coleman is a rookie, so there's some adjustment needed there. So I expect Khalil Shakir to be essentially the starting wide receiver one early in the season until, Curtis Samuel gets acclimated and Keon Coleman. And if he does start, it'll be hard for him to keep him off the field, because this dude has hands of glue, can get open. Fortunately, he's not as explosive as Curtis Samuel. It's not as big as Keon Coleman, but he does have a niche that Josh Allen likes. So if you play PPR at all, Khalil Shakir is going to be, PPR god. Possibly flex worthy, but anyways, moving on to number two, who I think can crack top 24, but most likely top 36. You got Rashid Shaheed, undrafted free agent darling from 2 years ago, going to his third year, just like Khalil Shakir. But right now, he's slated to be the wide receiver 2 on that team. Basically the second best receiver on that team, if you don't count Alvin Kamara. They got Olave and then Shaheed, and there's literally nobody to essentially challenge him for that wide receiver 2 spot, at least on paper. They have Juwan Johnson, who's hit or miss, but one of the better, flex tight ends. They added A.T. Perry. They drafted Bub Means. They have some undrafted free agent that's creating some noise right now, but man, Shaheed is their most explosive wide receiver, especially with Chris Olave, getting a lot of the attention. Shaheed's gonna smash. Hopefully, he stays healthy. They do use him for punt return because he's explosive as hell and on return, and with the return rules being different nowadays, he's definitely gonna be used there often too. But this is gonna lie on Derek Carr being more efficient than he was last year. He did miss a ton of wide open Shaheed last year that could have, catapulted his season better. But with one more year under their belt, and hopefully Carr one more year under the system, although they have a new OC, I expect Shaheed to definitely challenge that wide receiver 2 fantasy points, assuming he's a full-time wide receiver, because like I said, he's an elite returner and they might use him for as a X factor. And then finally, my third and final one on this list, who I think is definitely gonna be a top 24 receiver, assuming he stays healthy, is Darnell Mooney. for the Atlanta Falcons. He's basically the veteran wide receiver on that wide receiver room. They got Drake London, elite athlete, elite potential, getting drafted so early because of the addition of Kirk Cousins. And I get it. I have a lot of Drake London shares. But the thing is, he hasn't actually shown elite production as of yet. But he is only going to his third year, about to get the best quarterback in his career. And if for some reason, he's definitely going to be the number one guy. So that's going to make Darnell Mooney wide open a lot of times. They also have Kyle Pitts at the tight end position. Bijan, the running back. That offense is going to be elite. And we've seen Kirk Cousins support 2 wide receivers, fantasy relevant wide receivers, along with a fantasy relevant tight end. That year they had Thielen, Justin Jefferson, what's his name, Hawkinson, and Dalvin Cook being all relevant in 1 year, and Cousins like 2 years ago. So I expect the same season. That's why I think Mooney's gonna crack the top 24, because a lot of focus is gonna be on London and Pitts, and the way Mooney has shown the ability to get open in the past. He's had terrible injury and quarterback play the last couple seasons. He had an amazing rookie year, and I expect him to bounce back. He did sign a 3-year deal, and according to Cam, he's already building chemistry with Kirk Cousins, and he should elevate that team, that passing game. So those are my top 3 deep sleepers getting drafted outside the top 50 and sleeper ADP that could possibly outplay their ADP for sure. Playing redraft, these 3 receivers probably like late last pick of the of your league. But in dynasty, if you need solid flex play, try to trade for these guys. But I don't think they're gonna cost like a mid to late second at this point. And in a lot of my best ball team, Shaheed and Mooney are everywhere. So I put my money where my mouth is, and I expect them to be fantasy relevant this season. So see you on the next one. Peace.